All right, peace. Peace to the guys and herbs. Anybody else that we have that might check in with us. We appreciate all of you. Who we got in here? Washington Zigzag Zig, 793rd, and I was born. Wazoo. I guess we could wait for a few more people from the with that. That's cool. We getting on a little bit late. So we skip over some of the niceties today. Now it's live. Oh, pardon me, too. For not mentioning, it happened before I got a chance to do a live, right? Peace to the guy Gamal from Medina. Another one of our brothers that, is no longer on this physical plane with us no more. That's one of the, he's one of the originators. The guy was somebody that, he wasn't, as friendly, let's say, as some of our other brothers. You know what I'm saying? But when you did get to know him, sounds was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? The guy used to add on, he used to cook. He used to cook at the Medina rallies. He was all real. So, once again, like I said, man, a lot of these people, that is returning, was very active people. You know what I'm saying? They was active in this. And so, like I keep saying, we gonna have to replace that activity. In order to maintain our level of building. And even add on to it. God, I be magnetic. What's the deal, man? Oh, man. Man, got a story to tell. Where's that going? You tell the story here, or you gonna tell me later? Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. But you can fill me in at your leisure. But today I was inspired to do this title that we got up here today. Do your own narration. It's the title of today's civilization class. Do your own narration. You know, understand that, you know, whenever somebody's giving you the history, right? You know, or, you know, when you're dealing with communication, this is something I learned from he was one of the only Black college professors over there. One thing that he taught me a lot about writing and speaking and communication. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he taught the whole class, but I'm saying it was, you know, it had a particular impact on him. You know, and one thing that he said was that, you know, it's two kinds of communication. There's informative, and there's everything else is persuasive. You know, basically everything else is a person presenting their argument. And see, you have to be able to tell the difference. See, that's exactly what I mean when I say, you know, the truth is the truth. It's absolute. There's no your truth, his truth, all this 1,000 sides of the story. But in terms of in that class, you know what I'm saying? He you know, separated it as, you know, that you're dealing with informative, right? When it's telling you who, what, where, when, why, and how. That's the parameters of informative writing. And everything else, all the opinion pieces, to whatever, everything that is telling you besides who, what, where, when, why, and how, right, is their persuasion. Now we get to their narrative, and that's how you can really tell. See, because see, look, two people can tell you their side of the story, and neither one of those sides of the story is true. There really be something, you know, they telling you that the argument is not. The real truth is that some shit happened that both of y'all don't want to say nothing about. So see, don't be caught up in that, thinking just because the people involved told you some bullshit that now you know the truth. The truth is who, what, where, when, why, how. Now, when you dealing with the nation, right? A lot of time, all the time. Now I ain't gonna say all the time, but most of the time, you get a narrative. You get, you know, like for instance, right? Have you ever been, you know, you're doing the knowledge of brothers building, right? God is building. How many times has a guy been building? Do y'all hear me? Not seem like y'all don't hear me. But I'm gonna keep going. Hopefully I don't have to back up. But how many times have you ever been doing the knowledge to a guy build, right? And in the midst of the story, he's like, yeah, I was a sideline guy. Like, oh, that science, yeah, that happened. Yeah, no, I was a sideline. I was straight up. I wasn't in one of the movies and shakers. In everybody's story, he's the guy. You know, not everybody. Like I said, not all, but most of the time. See, that's why I meant from back in the day. I always been, where's these people at? You know, you get people, now I build every day, all day, 24 hours a day. All right. Where's the people that's been influenced by all this building? Where's the material? You know, where's the material product? You know, because you're not just talking. I'm saying, what you build houses. Where's the houses? You build computers. Where's the computers? You build that all day, every day. So you got to understand that you're getting a narrative, man. And beware of these narratives, right? Because see, some of these narratives, you know, they become dangerous. If I understand that 7, they become dangerous, right? Because, you know, that narrative, right, is something that it makes the picture more vivid. So like a person could just say, you know, they went to 21-22 out of claim power, right? 7,000. Right? The line, justice in the 5% of square. Right? They can tell you they went there. But see, what are they going to say that they saw when they got there? See, now we getting into the narrative. Did it look beautiful? Did it look like an eyesore? See, these are the other elements of the history that you start to get and see. They can lead you to having an understanding. See, this is when they say, you know, leave another man's understanding with another man. You knowledge is wisdom, and then you draw it up what you can see. You see, these narratives become dangerous, man, because sometimes, you know, these narratives is encouraging people to do the wrong thing and discouraging people to do the right thing. So like if you go around with this narrative that the brothers that deal with the lessons in the 120, they like this and they like that. And nobody's saying that everybody do everything right. But see, now you giving a person a certain mentality that's going to cut him off from how we all got this. You got, you know, people, God, you know, 120 is just that. It's just 120 is. See, yeah, that's real smooth for you to say right now that you had it for years, months, and days, decades, or whatever. You've expanded your knowledge and wisdom and got into the details of life to that degree, right? Where you recognize that this is basic. But see, let me tell you something, man. That's some snake shit. Because see, all these motherfuckers, they can tell you what they wouldn't tell you. We all started out quoting 120 lessons. So now, all of a sudden, now that I got where I got from studying 120 lessons, I'm going to tell you, nah, you don't need to study that. Yeah, that's baby shit. Nigga, you a baby. See, a person, they put their narrative on you. Even if they telling you they experience with a certain thing, you could just listen to it as a story. But if you're going to break it down as an example, if you're going to look at it as an example, right, you got to be able to break it down into the step-by-step that a person took in order to be successful in something where you say, all right, yeah, I'm going to use that as blueprint. You see, yeah, I hear these narratives sometimes, and then it's like your narrative becomes self-serving. If you got these narratives, I hear these narratives about how things are so negative at the school. So now you didn't spread this narrative about everything being negative at the school. So now who would want to go over there? Like if everybody's over there so negative and everything is always going wrong, who wants to go over there? So now the people who got the power to bring about a change have been discouraged from going over there. Or a person, their experience with an individual, right, might have been bad. So they telling you all these negative stories about the person, and now you don't really, you're not as much in a warm current. You're not as ready to build with this person because now this other person is giving you a narrative. To see what they neglected to tell you is all that shit that happened between them happened when they used to smoke crack together. So you get these people, you understand, and they, you got to do the knowledge. See all the people. You got to look at who the person is. See, that's why people always say, yo, God, why you, because it was that person. Yeah, you goddamn right. Because to me, character and track record means something. So whenever you get these people with these negative narratives, do the knowledge to that person. Peace. Do the knowledge to that person whenever you see somebody that just got a total negative, narrative about everything about the nation. Where all of us is negative. None of us live out of large mathematics. But where was you while we was doing that? See, the more niggas talking that nation building shit, the less amount of time he just came out of jail. I ain't talking about the lessons. I'm talking about history has shown us. Niggas talking all this, yo, yeah, we got to do this. We got it. Yo, man, look, if you're a young person, you just come into this knowledge, don't fall victim to those narratives. And see, I know what it is. Exactly, knowledge born. Knowledge born, make a great point right there. A lot of times these narratives be coming from secondhand, second and third hand people who wasn't even there. And they heard things from different people, but like I said, you can hear these fucking stories that different people tell and still don't know what the fuck happened. See, the reason, when if you just coming into the nation, man, you don't want to get caught up in these narratives is because you look, in the lessons to tell you, even the devil get a chance to clean himself up. Like if somebody's telling you something that, you know, like I said, just the information, not how the person is characterizing the story. See, because this is what I'm saying. You could hear the same story. Like I've heard the same story. And, you know, shout out to Born Mastermind and the Nation of Original People. You know what I mean? Power to you. But I'm just saying that, you know, our history together, you know, depend on who's telling you the story, is characterized totally different. See, when you fall victim to these narratives, you're not really gaining understanding. You're making the other person see everything for you, and you just seeing what they see. So now their enemies is your enemies. These narratives will lead you astray into the wrong direction. See, whether a person is a hero or a villain depends on which side is telling the story. What is Robin Hood? Is he a hero or a villain? It depends on who's telling you the story. See, all that is or look, if you look at the Abrahamic faiths, that's another good example of the impact of how the narration of a story, right, can change a whole lot. So always do the knowledge, man, because see, here's the deal. Thinking is an action. So yesterday when the brother was here and I said that, analyzing knowledge, that's wisdom. Like having knowledge, but then being able to analyze and see thinking is an action. Thinking is an actual thing. And see, a lot of people don't realize that, which is the problem why a lot of people don't think. Because they don't even realize that, no, this is a secondary thing. This is not the same as memorizing. Thinking is not the same as memorizing. See, this is why intelligence is not the same as education. So it's not just, that's just one microcosm right there. That's one small world when you're dealing with the nation, but everything that you're going into when you watching the news. They see right now, when we hearing about the science with this vaccine, see what's the information, right? That we can, weigh and judge, that we can measure, we can put this on the scale, right? And say if it's right and exact. And what's the persuasive? What's the narration? Who's Fauci, a genius or a dunce? So see, a lot of that stuff, man, you gotta stay away. You know, and I'm gonna tell you another thing too about this now, about this knowledge. This is something that I personally learned. My experience is that most people come into the knowledge, right? And their experiences in the knowledge mostly have to do with who they are and what they was looking for when they came into the knowledge. Like if you came in, you know what I'm saying, and you know, you was about the righteousness of it, then those was the brothers that, you know, y'all had magnetism for each other. It's just like right now, anybody that's been to a rally, you in there, yo, it's people with dreads, there's people that's vegan, you know, there's people that play basketball, whatever it is under the sun. And there's people that do negativity. There's people that deal with this, there's people that deal with that. And you kind of seek that out. And so a lot of things that happen to you in the knowledge, right, is, you know, just, I'm saying, even being with that group of brothers in that cipher, that was based on you. Like that's what you was looking for. You know what I'm saying? If you came into the knowledge thinking that this was a gang that you was joining, then those was you ended up in jail. And then now you might, yeah, you know, it was 5%, man. You know, when I was dealing with that, nah, nigga, you was negative. And you came into this and you gravitated to people who was doing negativity too. Just like if you came in and you wanted to deal with education, right? Like I remember one time, Dumont, it wasn't one time, it was every year. You know, Dumont would say at the end of the semesters, look, if you bring your report card in, you know, it would be different things. Like, you know, you get this reward for a particular grade point average. You know, and, you know, during those years, you know, I'm not saying that happened every single year, but during the years when I was, you know, finishing high school, nobody ever brought their report card. You understand what I'm saying? But even like, you know, at the education, there's brothers that's standing in front of the school, they're not going in. There's brothers that's going in, but they're going to be in the halls all day. And there's brothers that's going to class doing that. And you kind of find your, you know, you find your niche, you find your group, your flock. So it's like they say, Mecca is what you make it. So you got some people say, yeah, them brothers up in Mecca, man. Brothers up in Mecca is negative. Yeah, Mecca is what you make it. If you come up here and you're looking for certain things, yeah, when you get in that car, yeah, all bets is off. That's something else. But that's what you did. That's what you was looking for. Or you can come and, you know, you see, boom, yo, you want to go to college, you might come in tune with Bilal, you know, Arabi, all these different people that have degrees. Allah culture, beloved engineers. So don't be caught up, man, just because another person, you know, you know what? Listen, the devil is here to get the wrongdoers. And like I always say, I know the devil oversteps his bounds often. But, you know, don't ever leave that out of your consideration, especially when a person is telling you about a whole bunch of negative shit. Like a person just tell you, yo, and this happened in the 60s, and then that happened in the 70s. And then, like, wait a minute, son. What was you, why does this keep happening to you? Why do you keep ending up in the cipher where that's going on? So do the knowledge for yourself, man, and learn just in general. Like I said, you know, not just with that, but when you watching the news, you know what I'm saying? When you send your kids to school, see, Asia, what's going on? You know, when you send your kids to school, you got to know what is the difference between the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s and the propaganda. So you can separate it for them. Yeah. Now I was born just came in here. Over here at the G building. Asia, I was telling these people, see, Asia, that when they meet crazy people out there on the streets, right? Divine justice in the building. Yeah, CH, I was just telling them that when they meet these crazy people out there on the street, right? Build with them out there. Like, when you meet somebody crazy, right? Don't send them to the headquarters. don't send them to the national home. Build them out there. We don't have medication here. Sometimes I wonder that. Like, people come here, right? And they've been referred here. Like, they like, yeah, you know, I'm with the guys over here, and, you know, they told me come here. Okay, but why you don't know no mathematics? Like, let me tell y'all something. That's not doing your duty. Telling people the school is here and I have classes on Monday and Tuesday is not doing your duty. I think that's some of the infinite teaching that some people say they doing out there that I never see the evidence of. But you gotta teach out there. See, first of all, you gotta remember it's 196,940,000 square miles on the planet Earth, for example. This right here, this lot right here, lot 129 that the school is on, this ain't a square mile. In order for this knowledge to have the impact it's supposed to have, right, of being able to you know, save people and change people's situation, people got to teach out there. Yeah, of course, you know, this is the home, you know, of our guy. If we're gonna have curriculum here, we want to do our duty, of course. But remember, Allah's school is wherever Allah is at, and he's teaching. And Allah is the black man. So wherever the black man got knowledge himself, yeah, this is Allah's school in Mecca. The foundation. But wherever you at, if you're not afraid to teach about who the black man is, then that's Allah's school. You know, this is an example. You know what I'm saying? This is an example. You know, all of these things, they examples. You know, positive examples of what to do. You know what I'm saying? In other instances, examples of what not to do. That's called learning. Seven signs said in order for them to teach, they must be first be taught. Yeah, that's a science right there. That's a high science. They see, because you know, we only 5%, right? So most of the people that's coming to us is coming from a religious kind of mind state, right? So they looking at it just being like a switch. You could just flip the switch, right? And then you the God. See, that's why, if you notice, whenever people come in here looking for the lessons, I slow them right down. Because I already know what they think. They think that's going to make them God. That's where y'all be fucking up at. Y'all give people all this shit, right? And then they think they're 5% because that's what they saw as a 5%. It's like if I see you with a New York Giants uniform on in the Meadowlands, right? I'm gonna think you a New York Giant. You know, I'm gonna think, you know, that's what it takes. If I don't really know about the whole science of amateur football and working out and all the other things that really went into it, like all I see is this right here on Sunday. So that's what people think, because you see people speaking those words, right? That, oh, that's what a 5% is. But no, that's what a lip professor is. See, a person gotta know that 120, right, is just gonna wake something up that already exists within them, or not. Sometimes, yeah, it don't, you know, and that's where problems arise. When you trying to bring something out of a person that's not really in it. You're trying to bring this knowledge out of a person, right? And it's not really in them. Wait, what you say here? Mandate stopped in court. What happened? The mandate, which one? The federal one or the New York one got stopped? Who stopped it? The Supreme Court? We got Arabi. Arabi. You know something too? Remember a couple weeks ago? Remember a couple weeks ago, somebody sent me a video of a brother building on Sinetta on 125th Street. And I was like, nah, I don't know who that is. And then Lovey Turner was like, yo, nah, you know the guy. We know the guy. He was around in the 90s and everything. I was like, nah, they ain't. Yo, Buzz how that brother came over here like last week. And as soon as I seen him, I was like, oh snap, I do know the guy. I don't know why I didn't recognize him on video, but as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh yeah, I know. I know. So wait, you said the New York City mandate for the hospitals? You mean only for the hospitals or for across the board? But yeah, I did. As soon as I saw, I was like, oh yeah, I don't know how I blocked them. Yeah, I'm interested in that news about the vaccine. $10,000 Oh, only for the healthcare workers. Well, you know why that is. You see, right. And that's what I'm saying.
There's a lot of healthcare workers that taking the medicine.
Look, it's just going to show you, like I said, what people could do to bring about a change. It's just showing you in the way it happened. Like motherfuckers ain't turned up. You know what I'm saying? Niggas ain't burned shit down. Nobody got arrested. But they took the L on that. You see what I'm saying? See
That's why they're trying to do everything they can.
Yeah. The way they did that was smooth. So IB said the mandate is on hold until the 28th for those with conditions.
And it's crazy how they tell you it don't keep you from getting it, and it don't keep you from spreading it, but you need to get it. That makes no sense.
You said a federal judge issued a temporary restraining order Tuesday, temporarily suspending New York State from enforcing its vaccine mandate if healthcare workers claim a religious exemption. Oh, they got to spread that across the board. Why, if they giving them a religious exemption, I don't see how that's not going to be challenged. That's like why would the healthcare work? See, you know what I would think is that it would be better to have them just say that than to have them speak on why they really don't want to do it, but in medical terms. You know what I'm saying?
Once they start speaking in medical terms,
if they was to just start speaking on exactly what the risks are, you know what I mean? But from their level of expertise of being a medical professional, that's sometimes what happens, from in the criminal court, from the standpoint of the defendant in the state, where sometimes they just, make a deal because niggas don't want certain shit to come out in court. You know what I'm saying? And once that shit comes out in court, it's established record. You know what I'm saying? So that's so I still don't understand that they. Why I sense it as a doctor who be at the federal mandate, or who beat the federal mandate in court, he proved by already having COVID and eventually overcoming it that he didn't need the jab, so he won in court. Now wait a minute. Is this because there was a case? There was a case that I saw in Virginia. There was a case that I saw, I think it was Virginia, the University of Virginia. And there was a professor there that was suing he was suing the university on those same grounds. That he was saying that, the vaccine would actually interfere with his natural immunity. You see, that's what I'm saying. Now, if that doctor was to come out and lay everything out, you know what I'm saying, from a medical point of view, they rather just say fuck it, let him go.
Yeah, real talk. Like that's the shit you was just talking about. I like they make the back deal, they make the back room deal, so shit don't come out of court. Because once it come out of court, yeah, it's public property.
Yeah.
So then anybody can use it.
Mm-hmm. And it's established fact as far as the court of law. So, you know what I mean? In terms of the government and whatever, that it's established fact if it was in court.
What they call that, the precedents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's crazy, like in Pennsylvania, there's a lot of elementary schools doing that shit now.
Yo, that's what I heard in California that they trying to approve it, I think down to like 2-year-olds now.
See, in Cali, this is what happened with Cali. Cali stayed inside too long. Because once they start coming outside, a bunch of people, like I know a bunch of people that got it. You know what I'm saying? Mm. A bunch of people, my man L, Nigel Brown that be on the chat with us, he had caught it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people like, and their family was catching it because they was all indoors for the hell of long.
Yeah, I was thinking that a lot of people, it's like, you avoided it by staying in the house, but then as soon as I was thinking that it was going to be a spike as soon as everybody came back out. Because it was like,
you gotta run his course.
Yeah. Like you just been away from it, but as soon as you come back out, you know what I'm saying?
And the crazy part, like the kids is getting it, but they just getting sick. Ain't no kids dying. You know what I'm saying? So that's a reason right there why you shouldn't have to give them no vaccination.
All right, so IB said the doctor who won the case is a professor, so that could be the same guy from the University of Virginia, and he was showing them, that was one of the cases early on that I said is people that's already suing, and precedence is going to start being set. They putting the pause on the boosters. Yeah, what I heard about the boosters is that these two high-ranking individuals in the FDA, they resigned because they were saying that the science for the boosters is not really there. That it shouldn't be being approved according to FDA guidelines, but that Biden is trying to use the CDC because he has complete control over the CDC. So he could just tell them, yo, approve this, approve that, whereas the FDA has got a little more independence. You know what I mean? So they like, yo, now the way you pushing this through is not right and exact. So 2 of the high-ranking members actually resigned because of that. So yeah, I heard that the boosters, you know, like just the first of all, the danger from it. Me and IB was talking about that earlier today. That one of the dangers of it is that it caused inflammation in people's heart. So certain people had so now, if you keep taking this thing that could possibly induce inflammation in your heart every 8 months. You understand what I'm saying?
That's opening you up for the heart attack.
Yeah, so that's what they were saying, that those dangers right there, and then they were saying that it's also no real proof that it's gonna provide any more immunity than it is for them to do it. You know what I mean? Because you haven't really, you haven't really, like, they just going by numbers. They just saying that, okay, 6 months after this many people had the vaccine, this many people got COVID. So then they say, okay, well, the effect of it went down by this much.
In this amount of time.
Yeah. You see, that's only one. You see, now look, here's one of the things what I'm saying about analyzing it, right? And doing your own narrative. See, that's only one way to look at the narrative. See, another way to look at the narrative is that your shit don't work. And that it just fails at different times for different people. You understand what I'm saying?
And it's the crazy part, how they know if it work or don't work when they already said it don't keep you from getting it or passing it.
Well, see, yeah, like I said, that's what, like I said, you can get caught up in the minutia of the data and the numbers and lose track of the big picture, because that's actually the whole science of vaccines is kind of, yo, cut that TV off. Cut that TV off. Big values and shit. What I was saying. Oh yeah, that's actually a science. Like the whole kind of historical science of vaccines, right? Is that a whole bunch of other changes was made during the same time that vaccines was introduced. And so the correlation that you're making, right, is not 100% solid. So like, for instance, with a lot of those childhood diseases, right, that you get inoculated against, right, some of them came from drinking out of water that animals bathed in. And that was something that just stopped happening in the 1900s. You know what I'm saying? After World War II, you know what I'm saying? So, just general public health, sanitation, indoor plumbing, you know what I'm saying? All of these things happen at the same time. You see what I mean? So necessarily that it was the vaccine, right? Correlation is not necessarily causation. You know what I'm saying? Indeed. So, like what you're saying, that could be the case, that people was just developing natural herd immunity already, and then you started doing a vaccine, but that's not necessarily, you know what I'm saying, what made people improve. You know what I'm saying? And they don't have, that's all they could go on now.
Like instead of saying we overinflated the numbers in the beginning, they saying that they just try to keep covering up their tracks.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's you know, I mean, all of those are the things. What I'm saying, like, yeah, you got to answer those questions. You got to answer those questions for me, man. You know, I was talking last night when I went out and Demi said, see, if you know, if you taking the RNA shot, you know, you're not exactly human anymore. You're not quite human.
And you know they said, like, if you get the vaccine and it wear off, that you unvaccinated.
I mean, you know, it's one of those times. We in a time right now, right, where you know how like it's things that you look back in history, right? And be like, yo, yeah, that was ridiculous and shit. Like, motherfuckers start that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, motherfuckers did, hey, motherfuckers doing some ridiculous shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, you know, this is going to be one of those times, you know, when people going to say that, you know, mass hysteria was induced and shit. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know what I'm saying, from their perspective, years later, it might be like, yeah, they bugging on some Chicken Little shit. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, right now, it, you know, like it's been the case from the jump. I always been saying is like, see, the impact of the COVID is going to be about the changes that's made to, you know, everyday life. You see, a lot of these things, that's what it is. It's like every place, every country is like its own testing grounds. You know what I mean? Testing grounds for whether they put the vaccine or didn't put the vaccine, whether they had masks, whether they locked in or didn't lock in. Yes, and I mean, and now it's switching over to how you deal with the people who don't get vaccinated, right? And, you know, kind of how much government control can they get away with?
It's gonna be like one of them futuristic movies, like unvaccinated concerts gonna be underground, shit like that.
Well, they already had the vaccinated concert.
That's what I'm saying. But the unvaccinated shit gonna be underground. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
but you got, but this is what I'm saying. In Australia, from what I'm hearing already, right? You can only go like 3 miles from your house.
Yeah, I was saying that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So see, it's different places.
Like, you used to go, they said they used to have it, you go further, so you can go see your friends and family and shit, but like, they're on an extreme lockdown right now.
What you say here? Mr. Spock say, could RNA possibly predate DNA in the universe? I mean, I haven't studied it. You know, y'all know I always tell you, you know, biology is just, I wasn't not as interested. It's not really like difficult for me, and not just, I like physics better. You know what I mean? I like, you know, I grew up at that time when things was becoming electronic. You know what I'm saying? Like when we first had the football game, it used to just be this thing that vibrated. You know what I'm saying? And then over time, they came out with the electric stuff. So the electronics and everything, that just intrigued me. You know what I'm saying? So the sciences that went into that, I just was more interested. You know what I mean? So I haven't done that degree of research. I'm sure somebody in the room knows.
And you know what I was doing in knowledge too? That people don't think about? The effects that the lockdown is having on the planet by taking people out of the ecosystem for that long. The effect that that's gonna have on the planet.
Yes, I mean, well, one of the immediate impacts you gonna see is animals, you know what I'm saying, and how they gonna react. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you know, when people get locked down and then they can't really take care of the animals like that. You know what I mean? So then if they escape and get out there and start becoming feral, and then they start mixing with the
like animals ain't even having the garbage because people ain't traveling.
right, yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, those types
like
of
I was
things.
speaking because I was thinking it seemed like it was an excess amount of pollen this year.
Yeah,
you know
but see, right, but see now that's why now on the plant level it probably work out better. You see what I'm saying? Because what's gonna happen? Well, in some areas, you know what I'm saying, the natural, you know, vegetation will be able to come back. In other areas, you know, the new stuff is too aggressive, so they'll never come back. But
I think about like just think about like how much less CO2 going into the air. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm sure they got a
All
calculation
kind of
on that.
You know what I mean? Like it's just something I was just thinking about. You know
But you know what though, with that, see, I don't know if they want to put that number out because see, it might turn out that people, you know, individually, yeah, people wasn't really doing that much. You might find out that yeah, it was all some other shit. You understand what I'm saying? So who knows? Well, what's the deal? This is it. Huh?
Nah, I told you I'll be back.
Yeah.
I'll be right back around.
So
What y'all talking about?
yeah, what you progressed on since the last time you
Asking, asking like, I mean, it wasn't too hard because I'm already do that kind of stuff, but it hit me so like subtle, so I ain't gonna lie, I was feeling hungry for the last 3 days, but like, you know, passing another day in paradise.
Yeah, see, but that's how you gotta learn, right? That, you know, all that's in the realm of six. You know what I'm saying? All that's something that can be controlled. Like, see, a baby, they can't really control, you know what I'm saying, that desire. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a need, but I'm just saying that, you know, for them, you know, they get hungry, they start crying.
Right.
You see what I mean? Because they don't really understand this thing, what it is.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We understand, you know, the body can't go past it, so we can't just go without food. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But we understand what the food is and what it's doing for the body.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so we can understand what everything else is that we deal with in life, whether it's food, whether it's people, whether it's substances, whether it's situations. You see what I'm saying? Where we see that our mind can rise above that level of 6'2". You see what I mean? And be in control of things instead of these situations being in control of us. There's a lot of people, you know, that's what they, you know, like when people say, yo, you know, don't respect nobody till they respect you first. You know, you wait for somebody else to make you right.
It should be you.
Yeah, I'm already just right.
You that key you've been looking for, like you went search for. Like,
yeah. Mr. Spock is going in today. Scientists don't know where the DNA comes from, and it's doubted that it could survive in the universe by itself. RNA is just a possibility. I mean,
acids, the DNA structure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the question was asked, do RNA predate DNA? Does RNA predate DNA?
Like come before it?
Yeah, right.
I study this stuff, so yeah, I'm into biochemistry, human anatomy, well, the black human anatomy. I do everybody else just to stay up on game about everybody. Physiology, yeah, all that kind of stuff. Interesting question. Because that's an interesting question. I've never been asked that or heard that question. I've never heard that question.
Because the guy was saying how like somebody said somewhere right that if you take the RNA shot, man, right? That's something like that. Right?
I mean, listen, that's what my personal thing is. Listen,
it's temporary.
It's not. And see, this is what I'm saying. Just the history of the scientific method, right? And see, this is something I see scientists. They like, yo, like for people that's kind of anti-science, they like, yeah, well, the science is always changing.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? And the dude is like, yeah, but that's the scientific method that you always question things, and then if you learn something new, you add that on. But then here's the problem, though. It's your degree of certitude at every point when you was wrong, you know what I'm saying, that makes people doubt you. It's not that eventually, see, if you took that attitude when you was speaking, the science, you're saying, well, look, now sometimes they do, they say, well, the science on this suggests that this may be the case. And then sometimes, no, you're just ignorant. You're just not paying the science is decided. You see that's when you do that, then you make people say, listen, man, I'm not taking the shot. I'm not taking the shot. So even if you told me, if you was straight up, you was like, look.
You still supposed to be involved.
Yeah, I'm not taking the shot. Yeah. Like if you was straight up with me, you was like, look, man, I ain't 100% sure. I think it's gonna work.
What do you think about taking the shot, man?
I'm not for it, man. But on like a nutritional level, I know that it's just backed up with so many like kinds of like toxins. It's rat poison and like most of those vaccines, yo. Did you know that? Like, yes, it's for years, man. Like most of these vaccines, they double back on you, man. They destroy your memory.
Something I didn't know. You see, hey, young guy, you see black people right and they have that little mark right here on their arm. Like it'll be like a dark mark, like a little circle right here, like you see that little skin change colors right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's from like it's just being the skin. You know what I'm saying? Like see how my skin change colors right here? It's like a little mark right here. You'll see that on a lot of people. You feel me? That's from getting a shot when you're a kid.
Oh, they'd be smaller though, you talking about.
Yeah, sometimes it'd be smaller.
I got it. You ever seen people that from the West Indies that got it?
Nah.
Yeah, they shit like you look like a bird and shit.
What?
It's long like that.
Yeah, look like all the texture be burned out the skin or something. Like, yeah, they was giving out some powerful shit out in the West Indies back in the day. You see that? Look, ask a person from the West Indies that was born like in the 70s, in the 80s or before, right? To see they vaccine shot, they shit look like a burn. So. Yeah, I don't know what caused that to happen like that. Like you said, mine is like this coloration where over the years I don't even see it no more.
Yo, because you know what it does, those vaccines, because the Europeans, they believe they're like a paranoid people, and they believe in the philosophy of before something gets me, I'm gonna try and get you. So they believe in attacking things before it even comes. So they believe in like, because when you think about it, why would you inject yourself with whatever this thing that you're avoiding is? So when they do that, it destroys like the melanin factor, because like I think it speeds up or I think it slows down the melanin factor, because it's like some kind of wheel. I gotta look back into the plan, but it's like a wheel and destroys the melanin. So that got me thinking like, wow, if it changed color and burns, so that's exactly what happened. Like, so if there's a burn, if it's discoloration, it disrupted our melanin. That's really what these vaccines be doing. It's bugged out, like, because they believe in like if it doesn't work on melanin, like there's no point using it or it works, because melanin just like it enhances everything. That's why they love it. Everybody loves it. They love us. His book that's got me thinking. That's interesting. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. Yo, so that just certifies it, yo. Like if it burns your whole. What the fuck? That's crazy.
Like something that you take something that scar you for life.
Yeah, yo.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, yo. Yeah, yo. Okay.
Yeah, I ain't sure which shot that is, but whatever one is the one you get in your shoulder, I'm telling you, if you see people burn West Indies, they just look like burn. You like, yeah. But you know what that is? Just like right now, you know, they got certain vaccines that American.
Yeah.
So they gotta sell that, get that off in some other place where the rules is more lax.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So whatever vaccine they got probably was like some old shit. You know what I'm saying?
That rubella and all that.
We got a couple million of these left, man. How we get these off? You know what I'm saying?
Can't do the same thing with the oil, what's it called, the canola oil. They knew they can get that shit off over here in New York. I mean, America, because like that was something they had going on. They were like, we're about to sell this. Like,
it come from a grain, but like it's supposed to be used for this.
Yeah, nah.
And they changed their name because the name of the plant is like, it sounds disgusting.
It's Canada and oil. Canola, but there's something just like some bug that shit. So it's the same thing. They got that shit where they know they can get rid of. You know? It's a bug out.
That's what it is. The rain growing Canada. They like only was like next to that.
But that's what happened with food too.
Yeah, that's like you go to the store, they say wild caught in the front, and then packaged in China on the back.
and not just that, but it be different shit, right? Like for instance, GMO can't be sold in every country. Like in most of Europe countries, they can't sell GMO, but they can sell it over here. So that's what they do a lot of times. It's like, okay, so that shit got outlawed there, then they'll go sell it in India or Kenya or, you know what I'm saying, Vietnam or some other place like that.
Yeah, they did a study, right? They had made some corn, the pigs wouldn't even eat it.
The pigs wouldn't even eat it?
Some Monsanto shit.
Nah, the pigs wouldn't even eat
it. Pigs wouldn't even eat it.
Nah,
GMO corn.
Yeah, they just got off a whole level of their lawsuits though, because they got bought by a bear.
Let me tell you something. I remember, look, I'm gonna tell you, like, okay, I'm 48 now, so 40 years ago, my grandma used to work for Monsanto, and they used to make plastic bottles. They made the Pert shampoo bottles, the what you call it bottles, the shoe polish bottles, a little white bottle, and then like a blue bottle, like a Noxema bottle. And she bought me a whole bunch of them home for like toys and shit. You know what I mean? And then they turned from that to an agricultural company.
I heard that plastic bottle joint was like new. Like
nah,
they doing like that was all jars at a point.
I was a kid, my grandma worked there in Monsanto in Jersey. You feel me? They made plastic bottles.
I think they was, aren't they? I think they related to DuPont somehow.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think when they start dealing with DuPont, that's when they got into agriculture.
More, DuPont was making war. They was making war chemicals and shit.
Yeah, they do war. Yeah, they made Agent Orange.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then when all the wars was over, it was like they was going from wars to wars. Like the 40s had World War II, the 50s had Korea, the 60s had Vietnam. Then when all that shit was over, you know what I'm saying? They had all this chemical shit stockpiled that, you know, that was a part of the war machine, the industrial complex shit. You see what I mean?
That was that case they had that Roundup shit.
Right. So now they had this shit left over and shit, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, yeah, this shit could, you know, it could kill people, but it could kill insects too and shit, you know? So GMO, GMO is actually just plants. Well, I ain't gonna say just, but GMO is plants that have been modified particularly to resist that poison.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm saying that's the modification that is immune to that poison.
Now that's the, and now look at that, look at the lick.
But see, the thing is,
I'm gonna save the
that's
poison.
dangerous.
I'm gonna save the seeds that the poison can't kill.
That's dangerous though, because now, right? How do we, or is there even a measurement, right, of how much of that poison is in the plant?
Like how much of that poison they consider safe?
Yeah, because remember, you spraying the shit on the plant, right? And then it's soaking into the ground, and then it's
coming back.
The roots is pulling it in from the ground. You see what I'm saying?
Boom. And they don't even have like on a cellular level. They don't even have the elements to even like sustain in your body, being that those pesticides y'all talking about all in there, because plants, like, they're all electrical. You feel me? They go off like the chemicals, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Only God can like provide those for like plants, the foods we eat and stuff like that. So I can only imagine with genetically modified, the GMO shit, and then all that stuff going in our bodies.
You know the most commonly GMO food is?
Corn.
Soy.
Soybean. Hell yeah.
Soybean.
But the Chinese use that OD, that's
and that soybean, the soybean, it inhibits your body from producing testosterone. Because it makes you think you have an overload of it. Producing estrogen. That's how you get that gynecomastia in the titties.
Yeah, you know what it is though? Like with everything else, right? Once they decided, okay, because I recall it was like some kind of study that got released in the 90s. And the reason why I recall specifically, because that was one of the things that happened, right? That kind of caused, I wouldn't say cause, but it was one of the catalysts of like the healthy food that you see out there.
Soy shit, right?
Yeah, it wasn't.
I know
like,
that was different.
Yeah, like knowing it, like health food stores, that was a rarity. It was like, it was like one in Harlem that I know about. You know what I'm saying? And it was like a small little space, like, getting anything besides cow milk was difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to have a spot. You know what I'm saying? And then there was a study that came out saying that soy helps you with your heart or something like that. Right? And so once that came out, then they realized that, okay, this is something that we can mass produce, right? The corporations, I'm saying, they're like, okay, we can mass produce this and then we can market it as healthy. Because remember, they starting to get hit now because the obesity shit is coming in and they getting blamed and shit. So they like, okay, boom, we can do this healthy shit. You know what I'm saying? So what it is that the way they do it on that mass commercial scale is what causes it to have those effects of estrogen. But in Asia, right, the way they eat the soy, right, they let it ferment first. And whatever's that fermentation process, whatever's the chemical, whatever it does, it breaks down whatever chemicals that makes the estrogen come out. So that's why it hasn't had that impact on them the way it has over here.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense because it's kind of bugged out because like that's kind of like they base for stuff. Even out here, like in our spots over here, Chinese spots, you see the oil they cook with, right? It's all it's the soy, the fermented soy and all that stuff. Like, okay, because there'll be no way that if it's doing that out here and it ain't happening, something ain't added up.
Yeah, been out there would have to have beat up spot now. Yeah. See what I'm saying? But now that's what it is that the way they prepare it, you know what I'm saying? It don't cause that.
Totally different. All right, that makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? But like I said, because they see it was like, oh yeah, we could, you know, we could fill it up with this right here. You know what I'm saying?
And it's cheaper, like you said.
Yeah.
That soy is really cheaper. All these, everything, that's just almost everything out here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Once they realize that, yeah, we can make everything out of it. You know what I'm saying? From oil to
Chips.
yeah, you see what I mean? And it was like, yo, we're gonna go that route. And that was one of the things. All of a sudden, you start seeing, you know, soy all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Soy baby milk, you know, soy milk. You know what I'm saying? And you know, people like, you know, it was different factors too. Different things was happening, but you know, the 5%, we played our part. We you know, it wasn't, you know, now when I was doing that, it wasn't real. Nobody really was talking about pig like that. Like it wasn't, you know, nobody was talking about, you know, it just wasn't, like I never heard the term veganism, you know, until it might have been 2000s that I heard vegan. Yeah. Like I knew about vegetarians in the 80s. And born God, they've been vegan. When I got the knowledge, one guy. Listen, some things I remember I used to think born God was crazy. Cause listen, anything you go to the store, you come back, one guy be like, God, the white sugar. You can't eat the white sugar. It's killing you. Yeah, we should be. Hey, God, get the fuck out of here. What you said? God, I tell you.
He says it's gonna turn you white.
The white sugar. It is killing you. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But so I knew about that, but just certain things like that was unheard of. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I remember when they first gave me the list. When they first gave me the list of all the stuff with pork on it. And it was like 3 pages stapled together. You know what I'm saying? And at the time, even when people were saying we're not gonna eat pig, you know, I'm thinking ham, pork chops. I don't know about ingredients and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at shit.
Learning about that lesson.
Yeah. I'm looking at shit. Like, wait a minute. So got pork in it? Yeah, I'm like, yo, wait a minute. I'm fucked out. Like, wait a minute. So how the fuck they get pork and soap? I mean, I knew it was ingredients. You know, when you bake a pie or whatever. Yeah. I can't figure
All this
I didn't understand about that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But now that type of just knowledge is just way, you know, it's more, you know, like back then, a healthy eater was somebody that like you knew the food pyramid. Yeah. Something like that. That's like the healthiest of eaters. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's crazy? That whole thing was a gamble.
Yeah.
That whole food pyramid, that was a gamble. They tell us, after all these years, that they tell us that ain't really what it was like that. It ain't really work like they thought it was.
That's that European on pyramid, yo, for real.
That's a gamble.
That shit threw us off.
Well, see that too, that was a marketing thing. Is that certain industries was already established. They was more like even right now, right? You know, you hear about the rich cattlemen, you know, motherfuckers driving cattle, and you know, the cattle, that's one of the things that blew up the railroad, is they was transporting the cattle and shit and the beef and all that shit. You know what I mean? You know, you hear about the you know, industrial farms with the corn and wheat and all that, right? Never really heard of a fruit millionaire.
Food.
Yeah, like a dude that's a millionaire, and that's what he do. He grow and sell fruit.
Right.
You
You know
understand what I'm saying? So
because
those,
they don't have their name as usually like the company name.
right, that's what I'm saying. So those industries wasn't as powerful. So when they was making the pyramid, the powerful industries, right, like the meat industry, was able to make they part of the pyramid bigger. You know what I'm saying? And other industries, you know what I'm saying, that didn't have the same amount of power, you know what I'm saying, they got cut out of the list. You know what I'm saying? Because it was supposed to.
Dairy industry.
I think I can't recall.
That was a lot.
You could look it up, but at one time it was like 8 food groups or 9 food groups or something like that. Yeah, but by the time they made the pyramid, some of them got merged. Some of them got merged into others, and some of them got cut out.
Yeah, cause like how eggs and that shit get in dairy.
Yeah.
You see, that don't even make sense. That don't even make sense. That don't make sense.
Right, how eggs get in dairy group, right? Peanuts in the meat group.
Yeah. So you know, that and even, you know, a lot of the breakfast even that we eat, right, come from those industries too.
Yeah.
Like they made up certain breakfasts, right, so that you would eat their shit. You know what I mean? Like bacon and eggs and all that shit like that. They made that up.
Like when you do the knowledge, the whole system is all built on propaganda. Like TV ain't made for TV shows, it's made for commercials. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what keep TV going, the commercials. So that's what you're really watching TV for. That's what keep TV on, the commercials. TV tell you what to buy, where to buy it, what companies is going. Like you watch the news the biggest commercial it is. It tell you where it's safe at, where to go spend your money, what companies have making changes, what companies isn't, what companies making money, what companies losing money, the weather, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's all based on commercial. Like I remember the weather used to be the last thing on the news. Then they made it the first thing on the news.
Well, after Katrina.
You know what I'm saying? And that keep people watching news to the end.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that. I was thinking about that the other day. Like the news, right? Like just when you watch it, or maybe it's me, maybe I'm because I used to wonder that too. Like I used to see, like, damn, why old people be watching this shit? You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's what it is, age or something. But the news used to be mad boring. Like when Wanted Crime came on. Like, yeah, let's find some other shit to do. we got about an hour to kill right now and shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, play some checkers and some shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, now this shit be exciting. You shit come on, got rap music and shit on the intro and shit. You know what I'm saying? This shit is totally different. You know, I was thinking about that the other day, man. Like all the way up, Tom Brokaw and all them. Like, man.
I watch a bunch of news. Like I watch 3 channels worth of news.
Well, you gotta watch 3 or 4 channels now. You can't watch one channel and try.
Or they got the presidents beefing. They got the anchors getting on there beefing. They be like arguing and stuff like that. Like, what's going on right now? Like,
you know,
crazy stuff going on.
I was saying that I was in a Facebook group and shit. And they was talking about the little rapper shit, right? And I was saying like they don't understand, like, and they keep pushing Boosie out there, Like he the only one that's saying something wrong with this shit. And I'm like, y'all don't understand, like, see, y'all internet people, yeah. I'm like, y'all internet people, like y'all understand the word sensationalism. Because now with the internet, everything is sensationalized. Like everything is a big story. Like,
I'm gonna tell you this much.
you got cats going viral.
They gonna have their feelings. They gonna have their feelings hurt if they think they're gonna cancel him because he got like a very niche cult following that don't care about that.
And like he said, he make his own money, so y'all can't cut him off.
You're right. That's what I'm saying. He's not moving nowhere near the numbers of most of the rappers that you know, but his shit is loyal. Like he's a nigga that he can do 365 shows a week. Yeah. You know what I mean?
On top of another 200 features.
You understand what I'm saying?
And he's selling rap
So they can't. It's not the same as people that's on High 97, where we can just stop letting come on High 97. See, that's not really. If anything, that'll make him more of a hero to his particular clientele. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Boosie a whole legend out here anyway, so
yeah.
You don't already know.
He did his time.
But all of it though, you gotta remember though, to me, it's a particular it could be me, but the black man, right, is kind of being maneuvered out like ahead of the white man as the oppressor. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
we're being characterized as xenophobic, transphobic, homophobic. We're the phobia community.
And that's some more shit I've been checking out too.
Making sense of everything.
Like I've been doing the
like I said, I keep with the millennials. It's
some neo science, man.
Yeah,
that's pseudoscience because I've been doing the knowledge on the difference between gender and sex.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I thought it was the same, but like
it used to be.
But like it's different now. Like your gender don't have nothing to do with your sex. It's what you identify.
So
you feel me? And they associate. They say male and female gender, but that's not what the genders are. The genders are
just about that. Just the other.
The genders are masculine, feminine, neutral, and common. You say you got masculine and feminine. Neutral is neither, and common is either.
No, my gender.
I'm an elephant.
My gender is God.
You feel me? Because gender is a social position.
That's my pronoun too, by the way.
You feel me? Like they say gender is a social position. They said you can't change your gender.
Everybody out there, I want y'all to keep that in mind. My gender's God. My gender's God. My pronoun. God.
Because they say you can't change your gender, but you can choose how to express it. You feel me? Like you can't change the gender. Like you can identify as a gender, but I'm saying so if you identify as a masculine,
I don't like it. I don't like
it like a boy. If it don't got nothing to do with sex.
I don't like getting in those conversations. Like people always try, like, nah, man, I don't want to get it. You see what I'm saying? Because it's one of those things where I said this on here before, where see, mainstream society, right, is being asked to kind of accommodate these niche insanities. You know what I'm saying? And it's difficult to kind of define anything because that's a part of.
What's the end goal of this? Like, what's the whole, all right, y'all doing this? Like, what are y'all trying to implement here with this? Like, that's what I'm like, what direction is the Western world going with all this crazy? Because China, you see what the China doing, they lock down their television broadcasts of anything like effeminate or anything that would interfere with the mind of their voice. So,
They went on the hype.
you feel me? Like, what is the direction
It's
they're
trying
going?
it's trying to master the original.
It's to keep the population off balance. See, once the population get on balance, you know what I mean? If the population, like for instance, with the American Revolution, you know what I'm saying? That's one of the things that happened is you got these people that they over there on their home. You understand what I'm saying? So they develop a certain kind of mind state of independence that's different. That we over here doing our thing and shit. What the fuck we need to be paying you all this taxes for?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Or the same thing in the French or the Russian Revolution. The people was on their own in the terms of the kings, the royal families was walled up in their castles, and they never came out and dealt with the people or knew about their problems. So the people was out there making up their own mind. You see what I'm saying? So when you the ruler, you need to keep these people off balance and shit. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
In medieval times, it was all this wars all the time. So people was constantly off balance. So you're gonna run towards the king because you think he can protect you and shit. You see what I'm saying? But once you start getting too much people, they get too much about their situation, then you get shit like the 60s. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody is all of a sudden like, I don't like the shit that's going on. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of things. That's what I'm saying. That's what's happening.
More so with the pandemic. You feel me?
There was a little bit, probably like a little bit before, right? But was that during the pandemic, the Floyd shit, or that was before?
Pandemic, I told
you. That was before, right? The Floyd shit was before the pandemic, right? Or during it? It was during it. That's what they saying. People was protesting.
Yeah.
That was the first time I ever seen everybody around the world protest the same thing.
It was like boom, boom. That's how it was.
That was the first time I ever seen that.
But I'm gonna tell you something though. The lack of organized protests over this does suggest, right, that there was other people behind it. Because this, brother lost his life. You know what I mean? But we talking about all of us now. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if this is not sparking people to get out in the street like that, you know what I'm saying? People about to lose their jobs. Even though I did see, but I think that was something else. I don't know if you heard about the situation where the girl, the dude, I don't know the whole situation, but what I've heard about it, the dude is beefing with his ex-girl's new boyfriend. He pulls out a gun, shoots. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think the dude got shot, the new boyfriend, but the girl got shot and died. She was pregnant. You know what I'm saying? So I was around over here, and on the block where that happened, and people was out there like I guess it's some kind of protest. And then I noticed when I rode past the precinct, right, that the precinct was barricaded in. Like they didn't just have the barricades up; they had cars parked in the street, and a couple of cops was like outside. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn, it's really like that? Like, you know what I'm saying?
They keep that shit around there.
Yeah. I was like, yo, what's that about? You know what I'm saying? But those are the things right now. They just keeping people off balance, and they making a move. Well, they're making moves right now that I think it's like, yo, I think they looking at this. They looking at the. See, they just taking the last 5 years, right? And they like, yo, son, these motherfuckers, Lil Pump, Lil Xan, listen, motherfuckers is fucking with that. We can do anything. Like if we can really get y'all caught up in, listen, man, look at how much motherfuckers is watching Love and Hip Hop. And then look at how many people go out and imitate this shit. Basketball wives, etc. You know, now you go outside and people really acting like that. You understand what I'm saying? So it's one of the things where I think, you know, they like, look, you know, it's time. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, you know, we made deals with y'all. Look, you know, we got something we're gonna build. Y'all got a few people come and help us. And then, you know, when we finish, you know, boom, boom, you know, but it comes to a certain point where they like, oh yeah, nah, fuck that, we got them on the boat. Now they keep fucking the box. You understand what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? That's what motherfuckers like, look, we got us there. You understand what I'm saying? Motherfucker, take this motherfucker.
I don't know what you were saying. It was definitely somebody pushing the agenda, because I seen a Black Lives Matter march in DC. I seen one on Coney Island Boardwalk, and my man got a business in Oakland. He was telling me what was happening when they was marching out there. And the one thing that was missing from all these marches was Black people.
Say word.
I didn't see no Black people. Real talk, it was all white people, Black Lives Matter march. Like it was a few Black people sprinkled that, but it wasn't a Black march.
I mean, I can't.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a Black march like you can tell like Black people wasn't running this. You know what I'm saying?
Are Black people running Black Lives Matter? I heard supposedly that's not even like run by us.
I mean, man, like if you do the knowledge on that, like that's not for the advancement of Black people.
Yeah, at all.
Not Black men.
Yeah,
you know
at all.
And like one chick, she was taught by some communist people.
Now look, that's one of those instances
and then when it came
where
out about the houses,
this Black man is being moved out to the front as the, you know what I'm saying? Because look, you know, you have all of these, you know, white male allies. No, but there's no brothers that's allies. There's no, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't see, and, you know, let's not blame everybody else totally for them. You know what I mean? Because brothers that, you know, have gotten that respect over the last couple of years abused it. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, let's not leave that part out. But, you know, other than that, like, yeah, nah, you're not seeing, you know, Malcolm X or, you know, Martin Luther King, like I said, Trump, you know, the people that they put, you know, kind of in that position. You know what I'm saying? You know, or maybe it's just that they pick more wisely now. You know what I'm saying? Like, if, you know, that's what they do a lot. You know, they look out there in the midst of whatever people is protesting, right? And then they pick a person that they can fuck with to elevate. You see what I'm saying? Just like if they come amongst the tribe in the colonial times. You understand what I mean? They just pick a motherfucker. Oh, this nigga here look like the leader. You know what I'm saying? You know, now all they gotta do to make you the leader is give you the gun. At that point, you run shit over there. You understand what I'm saying? So now, you know, I do some, I tell you all of y'all, look, y'all got to get out the room, man. Nah, I made a deal with your king. I made a deal with your king right here. Y'all got to get the fuck out. You know what I'm saying?
They did that all over
Hey, look, King, your mans ain't getting out fast enough, man. Handle that business. You understand what I'm saying? That's the tactics that how they use it.
They did that
You see
all
what I'm
over the
saying?
world. They just gave them guns. They just gave them guns.
Right.
They did that all over the world.
You see, here, what they did is they give the nigga the mic. You see what I'm saying? So they look out there and they say, okay, boom, these Black people is agitating. You know what I mean? We gotta pick one that we can fuck with, that fucks with us. And we're gonna elevate him. We're gonna give him the mic. We're gonna put him on the news. We're gonna cover him in news stories, and we're gonna label him in all these news stories. We're gonna say civil rights leader W.B. Du Bois. We're gonna say leader of the Black community, Martin Luther King.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So now we made a deal with this cat.
Dang.
You understand what I'm saying?
That shit backfired on him. Because now you just can't give us anybody now. You're not just gonna give us anybody. A cat got two good interviews.
Well, look, they tried to pass some people off.
They tried to give us Kanye.
Yeah, look, I was about to say that. They tried to tell us Kanye was gonna run for president. Yeah, if listen, I bet you he would have got more votes than a lot of motherfuckers.
Oh, hell yeah, I would have voted for Kanye.
I think just the practical joke. The practical joke vote alone, you know what I'm saying, could be in the millions. Like, listen, I ain't gonna front. I would have to register and vote for Kanye. I had to do it. Listen,
just to see the debates.
Yeah, you're right. The press conferences. You know what I'm saying? Just to see the inauguration. See what kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? But that's the science that they do. You know what I mean? So these individuals, right, it's just some people to fuck with. You understand? That they decide that, all right, we're gonna elevate these people. You know what I mean? Not saying, because that's what I'm saying. Like, it's hard to say what a person whole purpose and what their motives and everything was going all the way back. Maybe at one time they were sincere about what they was dealing with. You know what I'm saying? But it's one thing when you dealing with your individual situation, right? As lesbians, you know what I'm saying? And y'all as a particular group of lesbians have some issues with the patriarchy. That's one thing. So when you take that to a national level, right, you can't do that. See, like, look, even as 5%, right? If all the brothers and sisters in America say, look, we pick y'all, man. We like how y'all do things. We want y'all to lead the way. We gotta lead the way for all the people. You understand what I'm saying? And yeah, you can't take your personal shit to that level. You see what I'm saying? Like when I'm right here.
We can't be like, no, I'm fucking with everybody except y'all.
Right, yeah. See, when I'm right here, I'm 5%. That's what I'm teaching. If you don't want to learn that, you get the fuck out. You understand what I'm saying?
But you can't take that same approach.
No, because see, first of all, you got to deal with people. See, as 5%, even what we teach, right? We got to teach people what they need to know.
Facts. So, like, why would I what's what I'm looking for? Why would I conform for like
you're not conforming, you know what I'm saying? But it's you're steering the ship, right?
Right.
When you open the gates and put the thing down so people can walk on the ship, everybody got to be able to walk on it. See, they got to qualify or disqualify themselves. You see what I'm saying? Now, if they disqualify themselves, we post haste. Post haste. You walk in the plank. You understand what I'm saying? But see, Yakub is the one that take people birthright. You see what I'm saying? Like we at whatever stage we at right now, right? But we came from whatever stage. You got, how they say, there, but for the grace of the gods go I. You understand what I'm saying? See, we came from those people. You understand what I'm saying? And those people is us, just like we them. You see what I'm saying? So we can't turn, right? Because that's who we are. You see what I'm saying?
Like get the initial chance.
Yeah. Some people, it's just like if it was a fire, right? Some people is babies, so you got to carry them out the fire. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's just the stage that they at. You understand what I mean? And then there'll be some people that's like, yo, son, you're like 500 pounds. Like, like listen, I need you a glass of water, but I gotta be out. You know, I told you to stop eating like that. That's you know what I'm saying? Yeah, some people you can't save them. That's how you know what I'm saying? But in terms of if you being the leader, you know what I'm saying? Just like look, you know, we right here, right? We got men, women, and so you can't lead in a way that's only dealing with the men. You understand what I'm saying? Because then how the children, they not at that level yet to, you know what I'm saying, be able to activate like that. You see what I'm saying? And so it's the same thing on a mental and emotional level too. You know what I'm saying? Where you got people, they walk around and, you know, they big men, you know what I'm saying? But they, you know, mentally and emotionally, they not.
And that's a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like that's I used to say like I was mentally, emotionally immature. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't, like you taught that men don't deal with emotion. That's a lie. We do deal with it. We're supposed to be able to recognize it, why I'm feeling like this, and how I do not feel like that. You know what I'm saying? So when we kids, like you only know two emotions, mad or happy. You know what I'm saying? So you try to, whatever happens, you only want to feel happy. You know what I'm saying? So you never learn how to process these other emotions. You know what I'm saying?
Also, as a kid,
anger is a secondary emotion. Something else happens to you before you get angry, like embarrassment. You feel me? Belittlement. If you feel one of these kind of things for insuperiority, you feel me? Then that makes you feel angry because it makes you confused. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to deal with use that anger as power to help you deal with that issue.
Because emotions are power. Like without those emotions, you won't be able to tap into certain aspects that you knew you were capable of. Like being angry can definitely be like a good thing. Like being sad can be like a good thing. Like it's a whole bunch of things. But like even as a kid, it's like me personally, I ain't gonna say like in German. Personally, I just feel as a kid like you're just more free to like explore those emotions. I feel like this is something, I don't know why, it's a society or something like that, but when you reach like that certain like age, it's like you those things are held back from you. So I don't know why. It's not practiced enough.
Sometimes it's how you raise, because like you always associate, when you say somebody emotional, you always associate that with being angry all the time or acting like a sucker. You know what I'm saying? Like you always a negative emotion. But you never like happy is an emotion. You never
because girls aren't like as like
what I'm saying is like you never, when you say a person emotional, you never be like, I think I always happy, he emotional. You never associate like happiness with emotion. There's always the negative shit, anger.
Yeah. You know, so that you right about that. But I'll be noticing this shit, right? You know, some people, like you said, they don't see the you know, different stages of, you know, mind and just, you know, your state where somebody come up, right? And they be like, yo, what's the matter and shit? You know what I'm saying?
You don't even know.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck you mean, what's the matter? Like, yo, last time I seen you was all like, the fuck you expect me to be all like this every time you see me, motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? Cause like that was the day. That's how I was going down. Like today, I'm maintaining. That's why you think something's wrong with me. No, something's wrong with you. That you expect me to be in the same state every time you see me. Yeah, I've been noticing that. People say, yeah, what's wrong, guy?
I had some messed up parenting sometimes. So like I was a kid, like my mom tell me to sit down, like sit your little happy ass down. Like that.
Some kids get you hype. You like, man,
I'm like, yeah, I can't be happy.
Yeah, you about to fall. You about to fall.
But what I had to realize though was that like I can't let a 5-year-old kid control my life.
Right.
Like I can't let the same things that I had a reaction to at 5 years old have that same reaction as a grown man.
And that's a lot of the stuff like we got cripples on the show. People be stuck in a time or a feeling or a moment, yo.
Indeed.
And it links to that. Like, that's a real thing. You said some real shit just now. That's a real thing. A lot of people out here like that. You know? To this day, be like 50 something and be traumatized or something that happened when they were like 12 and haven't moved on, and like the emotions that they so it's like it's crippling, like sexuality. So that little thing right there could like
See, it's called stoicism.
Stoicism.
See, that's a word that's fallen out of parlance. You know, stoicism, being stoic is like, you know, you persevere on. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these you know, problems, all these issues and everything, but you maintain your dignity and your identity. You know what I'm saying?
Like being steadfast.
Yeah, steadfast. You know what I'm saying? In your endeavors. You know what I'm saying? See, now it's not like that because we live in a world where, you know, people get bullied on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Like,
how you bully somebody never in their face?
I don't. In my mind, there must be a threat of violence for it to be bullied. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, now words have been defined as violence. You know, and I understand that you know, certain rhetoric could, you know, bring about, you know, could cause people to react in violent ways. That's true. You know.
Make people hurt themselves.
Yeah, but you still have to be able to separate. You know, is you know, that's kind of like, you know, yeah, there's people that die in car accidents. You know what I'm saying? But you know, cars is not killing people.
Like every car accident ain't fatal.
Yeah, or even every car is not going to be an accident. You know what I'm saying? But you know, that's something that don't, you know, people don't really have those kinds of you know, mentalities. And another thing that I seen too is that people don't have understanding for their parents. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't see their parents as kind of real people. You know what I'm saying?
Or going through life.
Yeah, right. You see what I mean?
I
And a lot of people, you making the same or bigger mistakes with your kids that your parents did. You see what I mean? But your excuse is, oh, well, I was young and my parents, yeah, well, what the fuck you think was the situation with? You see what I mean? That. But the most people's mentality about their parents is, nah, fuck that. You decided to have a baby. That was it. But for them, it's always, no, but I was young. The girl was a bitch. The guy left me. You know what I'm saying? You got excuse after excuse for why you fucking up. You understand what I'm saying? But you don't have the same understanding for your parents. So that's another reason why people is walking around with these fucking grudges. You know what I'm saying? Instead of understanding.
You got to be able to put yourself in their shoes. Like I had to think like damn, like my girl was 25 with 3 kids. Like she was a kid.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you another thing too.
Like
a lot of motherfuckers don't want to accept too that listen, you was a bad kid. you was bad, man. Motherfuckers say like, yo, my mom's abused me. No, you fucked up every day. You know what I'm saying? Like every fucking day, man.
Here's a lie.
Yeah. Like listen, Like the lights come on, all the rest of us react. We go home. What you do? Nah, I stay out. No, my mom and old
You gonna walk slow.
You get the house, you know the fuck happened. You don't listen. Some people don't want to accept that you was a bad fucking kid.
You had homework to do.
Yeah.
You try to do your homework in the morning.
Yeah. You sat there and plotted and schemed elaborate ways to not listen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All kinds of shit. Where you going, Park?
Yeah, word.
You lied and connived this shit so that you wouldn't listen. but it's your parents' fault. You know what I'm saying?
Like that's how you like if you ain't never sat and said, damn, now I know what my mom was talking about, what my grandma was talking about.
That's what I'm saying.
Like if you ain't never did that and grown as a grown up, like you missing out on life. Like, you missing out.
Or you never had a time, you know, which maybe your parents was that bad, but you never had a time where you was like, damn. Or look, when it goes all the way back, should have listened, yo. Motherfuckers told me this was gonna happen. Listen, when you hit rock bottom, look, and when they tell you the same shit. Didn't I tell you this was gonna happen?
Hey.
See, now you fucked up now, right? Didn't I tell you? Talk cash shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm always look. That's I tell people I'm not told you some type of motherfucker. Because I used to get told I told every week. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, a lot of people don't want to admit that these are the things, man. So there's all this, and then that's a control mechanism too. That's something that was also breeded, you know, to this day is kind of bred into people, right? Not bred into people, but it's indoctrinated into people, right? That the older generation is stupid. And the young people got all the answers. You know what I'm saying? The older generation is stupid, racist. You know what I'm saying? All you see. And in this new world, you understand what I'm saying? The young people have all the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? That didn't exist, I would say, before the 80s, man.
I used to swear.
You know what I'm saying?
I used to swear my grandma didn't know what she was talking about.
Yeah.
She's 95 now, so she had to know something.
You see what I'm saying?
You feel me? Like,
yeah, but
she's 95. She knew something.
Yeah, but that kind of.
I never felt that way though. Personally,
I mean, it depends on the people you grew up around. If the people you grow up around,
there was no way you could tell me like much as I was throwing my fucking, but there was no way, me personally, there was no way like some older dude could tell me he didn't know he was talking about. I really older than me, so you know something about the game. I know I did my own.
There's a lot of old foods.
You feel me?
It's not, yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of old
you know
food.
what I'm saying? But it still there was, you know, I'm talking about, look, it could be your cousin, it could be your brother.
Thanks.
If he was older than you, you had to respect him. You understand what I'm saying? That was just like, look, it was my great grandmother was the youngest child in her nuclear family, right? So her oldest sister had kids by the time she was born, right? So those kids is her nieces and nephews. But when I met him, she used to always call him cousin. But they senior citizens by it, I didn't really know, you know what I'm saying? But then when the brother, he returned to the essence, one of her nephews. And that was when she first told everybody in the family, that's not really my cousin. That's my nephew. But because he was older than us, my mother just made us, and we had to call him, we had to respect him because he was older than us. You know what I'm saying? So that was something that was just in the people, you know what I'm saying? Just, I mean, you can see it breaking down today, right? Even in the gangs. You know what I'm saying? Where the people don't have the same respect for the OGs and shit. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's
I was watching,
you know, just the terms that people use, you know what I'm saying, and everything. Like, you know, you had to do something as an old timer to make people, you know, disrespect. You know, and just
like how it went from
it's a youth culture. You know what I'm saying? Where there's no like comedians, right? There's no Johnny Carson. You know what I mean? There's no Frank Sinatra's. Like that's something that I seen is a real I mean, I don't want to say danger like it's, but it's possible, right? That if you under 35, right, there will never be a legend from your era because y'all don't respect no accomplishments in that.
It's not microwave, ain't no shelf.
Yeah, like 6 months from your hit record, you washed. You're irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? These types of terms is terms of disrespect. You understand what I'm saying? So if you under 35, have a Tupac because not respect him this much later. You understand what I'm saying?
You think it's also consumption too?
Yeah.
Like
yeah. Y'all are, or not y'all. Society is disposable.
Because I feel
it's a disposable consumer society. Like when I was in elementary school, they came in, it used to be these TVs that they would bring in. It was a closed circuit shit where they used to plug it in. And in the library, they used to put these VHS tapes in, and the tape would broadcast into the classroom. And one of the times that they did that, they brought on these people, and they was like, yeah, in the future, it's going to be all this disposable stuff. And everything was disposable, and they had these clothes, like now they call fast fashion, where you're supposed to wash it like 6 times and throw it away. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know some shit is like that. Yeah, they got something called fast fashion. You know what I'm saying? Where, like Old Navy and shit like that is like fast fashion. You ain't gonna get 100 washes out of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, a lot of female brands is fast fashion. Because with them, they gotta go season to season. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of, that's why a lot of brothers you might not know about, right? Those types of brands and all that is
fast fashion.
Yeah. See, I got daughters, so I Forever 21 and all that shit. That's fast fashion. You know what I'm saying? But on this shit right here, the people they had on some aluminum foil clothes. You know what I'm saying? Like it was showing them just living their life, and everything was just disposable. You know what I'm saying? They threw everything away. Like after they wore the clothes, they just threw it away. They didn't wash it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying that, that was the first kernel that I seen of that coming about. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, when they, things might take a different form, but that's the original idea. You know what I'm saying? Just like we got cell phones now, right? Just like the niggas had the shit on Star Trek. Remember niggas used to hit the shit right there and be talking. You see what I'm saying? Or we do FaceTime now the same way on Star Trek when we used to do FaceTime and shit. Yes, you know what I'm saying? So it's in a different form. You see what I'm saying? Just like, look, it's not all the way there yet. The technology, what they call it, the frequency of the technology is still low. You know what I mean? But see how they used to go to the shit and make the shit and they open the door and the food be there? Yeah, they got Uber now. See, a lot of shit. It's really the same thing. The idea had to come into a fallacy. You see what I'm saying? Might be a little bit different.
And the thing, it was already started then because somebody thought of that. You feel me?
Yeah.
It was already out there. It was already there. Someone already thought of this.
See, that's why you got to teach the babies. See what I'm saying? Because when you put that shit out there, right, for the first people, that shit is imagination. But for kids, that shit is real. So they go and figure out ways to make that shit real. You see what I'm saying? If you give them the right ideas and shit. You see what I mean? Whatever, that's when it comes to technology, but also dealing with aspects of society. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's stopping the violence or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? If certain people do it, then and you plant those seeds, then the kids is gonna grow up and make that shit real.
So that's what we did.
Yeah.
Like everything we see going on today, we did that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
yeah.
Like we started playing video games to make it. You know what I'm saying? Like you look at games today, like they just getting out of the 40-year-old game and get to a younger generation now.
Now, that's the good part of the youth culture coming about. That's the good part, is that since it's been youth culture, right, you see the pace of innovation is speeded up. Yes, I mean, and it's always these young, these young college kids that's coming out with some shit. Yes, you know what I'm saying? You know, so that's a plus part of the youth culture taking over, is that their ideas is, you see what I'm saying? With dudes in their 70s, they like, nah, son, slow that down. Slow that down, son. We ain't cake off of this shit. We like
you said, like it happened like with the drugs. That's where they separate. Like cats didn't have to respect older people because they seen them in a subservient position.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you can make this grown man, this grown woman do anything for this little piece of drug.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna respect her. I ain't gonna respect my mom no more. Nothing. Like my mom get high. I ain't gonna respect her.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that in terms of, you know, to me, I mean, I said it on here before. You know what I'm saying? You know, BC. Yeah. You know, BC is before crack. You know, it just was a whole different time. You're right. Like it
you can look at your neighborhoods and see how they change.
Yeah, it's like you just went in a dark tunnel and just came out in a whole other place. I can't really. It's literally, that shit is like an aberration of time. Like the whole 80s, you know, into the early 90s. You know, even to say, like, there's people that I knew since the 70s, right? Great people. Started smoking crack, became a monster. You know what I'm saying? Stop smoking crack. Great people. It's like, yo, that was an aberration where you like, yo, this motherfucker used to smoke crack and steal everything. You know what I'm saying?
Real time. Like you couldn't trust me to bring you back the change for the store.
Yeah, now this motherfucker loans out money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like an aberration, you know, on an individual level like that, and also just on a collective level of the community. It was like, yo, it just came out a whole different thing. Like, you know, everybody knew each other going into it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was friendly, at least with a radius around this block. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got to get a little distance away before you got to, you know, what they call the ops today. You know what I'm saying? You know,
once that crack came in, you start seeing bars on windows.
Yeah.
Stores.
Everything
Look,
changed.
stores don't just close no more. They got that.
Yeah. And it was the you know, especially like at first, it was just a thing.
Crack put that little gate out the window.
Yeah. At first, it was just a thing where it was like, yo, stay away from that corner. You know what I mean? Now don't go over there by that store over there. Don't go over there. You know. Then the shooting started, and that was where shit really, you know. The funny thing about when the shooting started is before the shooting, right? You should always be listening. Stay in front of the building. Once the shooting started, right? Don't be in front of this building. Don't be on this block. Go somewhere to play park. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, things just totally, you know, it's you can't describe it. Crack is, you can't describe crack. You can't. I tell you, you can do 10 movies. I've seen all those documentaries they do. They ain't even scratched the surface.
And then look, another thing, right?
Can't describe it.
I was watching this documentary about Chicago. You know, they said Chicago is the most segregated city in the country. Like
More than New York.
They built the projects in Chicago just so they could keep all the black people in that area, that South Side area. You know what I'm saying?
It's more segregated than New York. Because
That's
New
just
York
what
is
it is.
highly segregated.
You think
I
so?
mean, you go
The
back.
way Brooklyn and all that stuff is set up, like,
Nah, but
was
it's-
in the
it's-
hood. And how the hell are there like these Jewish people walking around?
Then
Like,
Well,
and
now
black people?
because of gentrification, things is
Yeah,
different.
in the hood, like not no like Schenectady or just like you're walking like a school.
Yeah,
Well,
we
that's what I'm
also
saying,
get-
like you have the
In the
Jewish part
hood.
of town, the German part of town, the Italian part of town.
It's Caucasians on Euclid Avenue.
Facts.
That's
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like
It's-
I was bugged out. Like what's happening over here? Where am I at?
Well, you know, it's been a shift.
It's mad weird.
It's been a shift in the strategies.
Like,
So you gotta remember, they deal with national strategies, right? And the people who got the lobbyists, these different corporations and everything, they're the ones that push the agenda. You know what I'm saying? And so there's no, the whole time, our history of being in America, right, is about there being an agenda for us being here. You understand what I'm saying? After slavery, for a minute, there was really no agenda. You know what I'm saying? It was about, what are we going to do about the Negro problem? Like, get them out of here, because we don't have nothing. So this is when you see brothers doing their own thing. You know what I'm saying?
Because the niggas know how to do all the work.
Yeah.
Black folks know how to do all the work.
Yeah.
Now look, this is what I want to know, right? Was the invitation to crack in the neighborhoods, was that a property grab? Because think of how many people lost their mother's father's houses to crack.
It's hard for me to say. I always just look at crack, right? Crack for the system was like the gift that kept on giving.
Right.
Yeah, like I can't look. The devil had to be a sweet, smart motherfucker to see all the shit that came from crack. Nobody could have imagined it. Crack was like the vaccine. Like nobody could have known what could have happened. Yeah, nobody could have known. Well, nobody could have known. It's like that shit. Like, look, they got rid of the crew, the black power crew. They got rid of them with it. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? They, like you said, they separated the kids out of the family because now kids is making their own living.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? They making their own rules. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I'm saying about the Chicago thing.
They got to warehouse motherfuckers off of the street and shit, get money and like it just the amount of things is
like look at the rap industry right now. They crack rappers.
That's right. Yeah, that's a whole other thing that who could have foresaw that there would be a whole genre of rap. There would be artists called Joey Crack. You know what I'm saying? Who could have imagined all of that? That's what I'm saying. The shit was like just a gift for them that kept on giving. You know what I'm saying? And for us, it was just the never-ending hellfires. You know what I'm saying?
Because it was ill-gotten gains.
Yeah. And just not just that, but just I don't think it was a institution or a group of people or aspect in our community that wasn't taken down by it. You know what I'm saying? From, black business to, brothers, at least in those first two generations, brothers and sisters, being able to take advantage of, any of the benefits that could have came from civil rights. You know what I'm saying? you know, and they got to pay for their Iran Contra shit. You know, that's right. It was so much shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I don't know that, yo, they really wasn't like, yo, money real quick, without knowing that, yo, this shit, you know, they might have, the first nigga, he might have really only planned to give it to Freeway. And then Freeway, you know, that could have been the case. I don't know. I don't know.
It was on, like, you got, like, it was on both sides, though. He was like, West, they still had these boys, they were just pushing the coke, but once they cooked that thing, it made it cheaper and accessible for anybody.
And it, you know, they, at least like where I was at, it was a period that the shit just seemed like it was all right.
Right.
Like the police used to ride up and down the block, you know. Sometimes they just say what's up to the dealers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it seemed like it was all right. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that drew a whole next generation of people in, is that it didn't really look like nothing was going wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta remember, like, you know, for the first couple of years, it wasn't really crackheads. Like, I really first started seeing crackheads, like 84, 85.
Oh, so it
when people start, now it's that when a person starts smoking, they was working. Yeah, people didn't start hitting, a lot of people didn't start hitting rock bottom. You know what I'm saying? Because you had the Woola era. You know what I'm saying? Where people was mixing the crack with their weed and cigarettes. And that was always, I ain't gonna say always, but up until maybe like 87, that still was like almost like a point of pride. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be somebody who was smoking crack, right? And they'd be like, yeah, but I just fuck with the Wooders though. I ain't sucking the glass dick though. Like that was like a thing, you know. For me, it's like, you smoking crack. The fuck are you like?
You know what?
What are you talking
That's
about?
another thing that led to crackheads, younger crack smokers.
Right.
Because they didn't have no way to take care of themselves.
You see what I'm, right, exactly. The people who have families and everything, it took them a longer time to fall off. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, you know, it wasn't all this drug testing and shit like that. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of people is coming to work and shit, and then, you know, drugs is kind of around. A lot of people was taking drugs at that time. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't really, but like around that time, that's when, you know, also I'm getting older where I'm noticing more shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not really seeing the old people, you know what I'm saying, at a certain age. I'm coming out, I'm going straight to the park or straight to the arcade or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But around that time, that's when I first started noticing, you know, extreme crackishness. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was people. You know?
Hey, like that's another thing. Like that's when like being called aunt wasn't cool no more. Like you can't call, like Kendall Youngboy called me aunt. Like, I'm take that offensive. Like,
well, I don't know. They don't say that now. They say OT.
You know what I'm saying?
OG or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was where we become customers.
Yeah.
And auntie.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, so yeah, that was something that that was like a brick wall. That was like a brick wall that we hit, you know, just to, I mean, because you got to think, man, crack did shit that 100 years of slavery, indoctrination, Christianity, lynching, you know, shit that all that couldn't do, man.
They made people stop wanting to go to school.
Yeah. And look at the rise of violence. So the Ku Klux Klan, the motherfucker who made the Ku Klux Klan could never in his wildest dreams imagine killing as much brothers as one city Klan. Just you pick any city in America, the Klan could not have dreamed that in their wildest imagination.
And we got cities like Philly, 400, 500 murders a year.
You see what I'm saying?
Chicago being the grands.
So the Klan couldn't look. Just them two cities right there. Just the two cities. The Klan wasn't putting up numbers like that. Not just out in the open, wide out in the open. Even the Klan do it at nighttime.
Like
These motherfuckers do it in broad daylight.
Like if they would have been doing that, it would literally bodies piled up.
Piled the fuck up. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, all of that, you know, when I look at all of that, I'm like, man, you know, because like you said, I mean, it's what, 40 years in, and you know, people don't necessarily take it like that no more. You know what I'm saying? They don't smoke it like that no more, but the impact of it is still, you know what I'm saying?
Like it was to a point where like you our age, like you wouldn't think it'd be no new crackheads.
Right.
Like that's how big an impact crack was. Like you wouldn't think it would be no new crackheads. Like crack was that messed up.
Well, in New York,
but it's still new crackheads every day.
In New York, it stopped being new crackheads around 87.
87?
Yeah, that's when it you know, it became some, you know, like the jury was in.
Like, all right, we got
you know what I'm saying? Like people was fucking with the wolves and shit and still partying, and you know, if you getting money, you can cover all that shit up.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But by 87, like mostly the first generation of motherfuckers that sold crack all smoked crack. And they all went to jail. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So people started realizing what this shit is. You know what I'm saying? By like 87. And that's kind of the reason, like if you notice, around 87, 88, 89, 90, that's when crack starts appearing up and down the East Coast. Yeah. Because dudes from New York is leaving because the money is not coming in like it used to in New York. You know what I'm saying?
New York niggas is fucking up whole states.
Nah. Those states was fucked up. Those states was fucked up when we got there. No. Those states was fucked up. Those states was fucked up when we got there.
North Carolina, New York got weird out.
Plenty of movies. Like, back in New York, crack era going to
No. You understand? Those people wanted crack.
They already was fucked up.
No. They actually brothers.
Somebody went down there, see their family, came back like niggas buddy.
They actually brothers.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? But that's you know, and you hear. Or at least I hear the same thing in other places. Like the time might be a little bit off, but even when I watched the little thing on the BMF story, it kind of was the same thing. Where it's like, yo, it came a point in Detroit where it's like, yeah, everybody know what time it is and shit. So these motherfuckers branched out. You know what I'm saying? At least according to the documentary. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, brothers in Cali. You know, they start going to Alaska and Portland and Seattle and all them other places and shit.
That's why you got gangs.
Right, because it gets a point in Cali where it's like, son, everybody, you know, we ain't getting it, you know. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know where to get it. Everybody know how to cook it. We gotta go somewhere where it's ain't hit. You know what I'm saying?
Like you said, like Chicago. That's why you got, like, you go to certain places, you can tell the people that be there. Like there's a lot of people like from Chicago and Ohio. Right. That's one of the places they went. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then Chicago went down south too. They went like Tennessee and all that.
Some of them places still haven't shaken it off. So that's what I'm saying. You know, looking at the full impact that it had, it's like that's something that you know, in my opinion, you know, you have to mark that down. Like that has to be, like that shit is like World War II or something, son. Like you just can't, you can't leave that shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like even when people be, you know, the black man hasn't really taken advantage of the opportunities since like saying don't leave out crack. Don't you know what I'm saying? Like you can't, it's like if you say you lost that fight. Yeah, you know, the other dude, this, that. Yeah, but you left out that he had one arm. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You left out. You understand what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. That's
You know,
why I asked you that question that day.
Right, and about everything. That's what I'm saying. So if you say, "Yo, how come brothers after slavery, you know, they didn't get involved with all that home ownership?" Yeah, you leaving out the red line. Like you cannot tell the history of these inner cities and real estate without telling that. You understand what I'm saying? So by the same token, you're not going to be able to look at the situation right now. Like, look, I'm gonna tell you something. In my opinion, right, is that's why younger people, like people that's under a certain age, they heavy into drugs, right? Because they don't really remember crack. Like, see, people that was born at a certain time where you saw that 1-2 punch of dope and crack, it's like, nah. Yeah, I ain't fucking with it, man. You understand what I'm saying? Nah, yeah, we've already made that decision.
It might be a lot of things I do, but not each one of them.
Yeah. That 1-2 punch, once you saw that, you ain't no, that's like your eyes can't unsee that shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Your ears can't unhear that shit. You see what I'm saying? But for a younger generation, they think drugs is fun again. You see what I'm saying?
It's on a new plateau now.
And it's all downers. It's all downers.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah.
It's all downers. They're depressing the hell out of these people.
I know from past from all them crazy shit. So
yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. See, that's not.
And look, and that's why I asked you that question that day, right? When I text you, I'm like, now they talking about these reparations. Now that they done admitted that they put crack in the hoods,
right?
Is they going like how you can't even quantify that damage?
Right.
You can't even quantify that damage. Right. Like that shit was irreparable.
Right. Irreparable.
Cause it's certain shit that if we was on track to do, it's like, you know how you like you said, life arc. You know what I'm saying? Like we was on track for this. That shit put us here.
Shit destroyed everything. Said the people in the church were smoking crack. It was like all of the institutions that we had that was building, the leaders, you know, got caught up in crack.
You did.
You know, from
Huey
Newton, Barry. That's what I'm saying. Is that's crazy. To me, it was ridiculous, man. You know, what I saw, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, you know, I knew people that woke up in the morning, drink pink champagne. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Listen.
Oh man.
They start smoking crack. You know. Listen. You know, so
like it was crazy, like
Bill Cosby had a daughter that smoked crack.
Crackhead went below dope fiend on the street scale.
Son, Bill Cosby got a daughter that smoked crack. You know this shit is touching everybody, son. All that money, everything. Yeah, he had a daughter that smoked crack. You remember the oldest one in the show?
Yeah.
The daughter that she represents smoked crack. Look, all the entertainers from James Brown, they all smoke crack. Right. Rick James,
smoking crack.
Prince, you smoke crack. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That shit destroyed. It destroyed everything. Gee, everything that you could think of that was life. Son. Crack came in. Listen, you know, my older brother, you know, he used to go to jail and come back. You know what I'm saying? Crack came out. This nigga started disappearing for years. You know what I'm saying? Say, I can't think of nothing saying that shit didn't. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's a whole, you know, that's chapters and chapters. That's volumes. That's volumes. That will have to go a short amount of time.
like maybe 15 years, probably from like, you take it from
Yeah.
like 75 to 90.
Yeah.
Like that was that hardcore crack year.
Hardcore. And the shit that bugged me out is but crystal meth. Crystal meth is
I
like,
never thought that was gonna take over in the black neighborhood.
yo, crystal meth is like crack times 50. Like whatever is the damage I put on you in a year, crystal meth doing about 2 months.
Yo, I know people that stopped smoking crack because they was fucking with crystal meth.
Man, that shit must be powerful. Cause look, I ain't gonna front. Crack was like that. I never forget one time, and full disclosure, I'm in the bullpens. Right? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? In the bullpens, right? And this dude is in there talking about how much he loved crack. You know what I'm saying? And he's saying how, over the years he dealt with all these different drugs. But once he tried crack, that was it. Like I'm sure this nigga look, remember that shit Tyrone Biggums or Roddy Biggums was on the Chappelle show? That's how this nigga was talking. He's like, once I tried crack,
dancing and shit.
Yeah. That's my drug of choice. That was it. After that, I'm man, don't give me no weed. I want no. You know what I'm saying? This nigga was talking that dope. I want no dope. Man, I smoke crack. Hey, give me crack. I eat it. Exactly. Listen, that's the first time I ever heard somebody say something was so powerful to do with facts.
Me too.
So that's a real story. That really happened. That really happened, son. In the Broad Central Booking on 61st Street, the fucking Sheridan Avenue. This motherfucker said, he gave crack to someone. Yeah. And look, and what's the name too? In the Hat House, there was a motherfucker like that, but he was more serious. Like this motherfucker was really like, he did not understand why they kept locking him up. Like the nigga, but the best nigga ever. The nigga said he got violated every year for like 5 years. Never did more than a couple months. And that, the nigga, he was like, I don't know why they drug tested me. I told him I smoke crack. I don't know why they leave me alone. That's all I want to do is smoke crack. You know what I'm saying? But he was pissed off, like sitting in the bullpen, like, you motherfucker got me in here. They know I want to be smoking crack. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, this shit is real. Like,
man, I'm telling you, like,
he knew that dude that ain't eat chicken. Yeah, so that was my man. You know what I'm saying? This nigga said, you eat chicken, boy. Listen. Every day, listen, they call you.
You have my cereal.
You know what he like? You know what he love? That piece of pocket shit. So I give him that shit. Man.
Hot pocket.
Yeah, get that shit out of here. I don't know what the fuck is in there, man. I mean salmon tonight.
With that meth, like one of the training grounds for that meth was San Francisco, man. Because I remember when brothers like young black dudes and shit start putting shit in weed. They called it Christmas trees.
See,
then my man, like my little homie, you feel me? He started smoking the bubble. That's the pipe they call it the bubble. You know what I'm saying? And I came home and I went back out there and I seen him. My man was lost, bro. Yeah. Like that shit hurt. Like I see my young boy lost.
The wild shit about crystal meth, man, is that shit has been around from the 50s.
Yeah. But it wasn't crystal. It wasn't crystal in the 50s.
I don't know what it was, but listen. See, first of all,
brown looked like sawdust.
Crystal meth comes from the Nazis. When you hear about the Blitzkrieg, when you hear about the Blitzkrieg, that's what it was. It's what's Blitzkrieg? Blitz, I think, stands for lightning. It's like lightning war or something, lightning fast. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So the way they was moving, it was like a blitz, like on, yeah. And in the military, you know, they've been doing this shit for thousands of years, fighting each other. So they got certain shit where they like, all right, this military right here, this unit or whatever, they in a certain location, and we anticipate that they gonna try to take this location over here. So we know they got this much people, they got that much supplies, you know what I'm saying? And they gotta rest a certain amount. So we predict it's gonna take them this much time to get here, right? So this is how much time we got to set up our defense. They predict all that shit, you know what I'm saying? But with the Germans, these motherfuckers would be there 2 days before the prediction and shit, and they couldn't figure it out. Crystal meth. Yeah, that's why you ever see Hitler bugging out?
No.
Yeah, Hitler bugged out. They said he cursed it. Look, in his country, he went to Italy and cursed Mussolini out. Yeah, for like a couple hours. They said, he just dressed him down. They said he just dressed him down. But that's what it was. Chris, like you ain't see him talking how he be all hype, and then other times you see him be calm. Yes, crystal meth. Yeah, so that shit been around for a long time. That's what I'm saying. A lot of these drugs and the tactic of using drugs, you know what I'm saying, has been around since, well, you had the alcohol with the Indians, and you had with the Native Americans, right? So-called Indians. And then you had the opium, right? Like with the East Indians and the Chinese, the Asians. Yeah, the opium wars. You see what I mean?
Yeah, they used to have
so that's why I don't totally, like when you say the impact of crack, right? I can't say that they didn't think of all those things because they had destroyed societies before using drugs. So they knew some of the impact that was going to happen. You know what I mean? Necessarily the level of Tyrone Biggums, did they know that was going to happen? Yeah. I doubt that's
like generations of Tyrone Biggums.
Generations. You know what I'm saying? So
then you top of that with fucked up social systems where you can't have the man in the house and go to get help. Now he got to be out the crib. He can't take care of his family. And he on the streets. Young boys they listening to because they on the streets.
Yeah.
Like they was talking about, like in the Chicago thing, like they were talking about, like with the projects, what it did was it separated the family because you got the mother 16 floors up and the kids all on the ground floor, and now they all down there by themselves. And they making up their own rules of how it's gonna go down here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's how they got big on the gangs and shit like that.
Mm-hmm. And when the
I already know.
Kind of violence started in New York, it drove all. And so that's what happened, you know, on our blocks where, you know, by that time I wasn't arrested in the projects anymore and shit. You know what I mean? By the time you get to 85, 86, and it really, really start getting heated up. You know, the kind of neighborhood accountability. You know what I'm saying? Those older people that would have been outside, that would have told my parents what I was doing. Yeah, they was gone. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we was outside by ourselves now. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, you know, everybody, the older people, they got scared. You know what I'm saying? To come outside because it was so wild. But you know, yeah, once that happened, you know, and you can see what that resulted in today, where there's no rules. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, because we had that system where these old people knew our parents, there was certain shit we wasn't going to do in front of them. We're not going to come on the block and just shoot out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you wouldn't even cursing for the old people.
Yeah, right. But see now, and another problem I see, particularly in Chicago and LA, is that it's just generations in. Like I don't see every person. Well, I don't go all into all these stories, but every person that I've seen, right, the drill rappers, they all second, third generation.
Their grandmas.
Yeah, same thing in LA. All the people are second, third generation, fourth generation.
When I was doing security, there was a shorty up in there, like she was 5. I was talking to her, and she was from California. and she was talking about how all y'all got these gangs out here. Y'all don't really do the gangs. So my family is like third generation.
Yeah.
To that, I swear that happened. She was like, yeah, y'all don't do like my uncle, they all Crips and all this other shit. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they be generations in. You know, happens. You know what I'm saying? And then the wild shit to be, right, be that you will have a family, especially once you get generations down like that, right? And, you know, people grow up, they move out, they move to different neighborhoods. So now, by the time you get to the third generation, you got 7 Crip cousins, 8 blood cousins, you know what I'm saying? Because they done moved to all different neighborhoods with their parents and shit. It's like, you know what I'm saying? To me, like, that's that life. That's
Like
that,
LA,
you know,
gonna
that's
have
what's
places
going
who
on.
don't have a Crip blood in the same house.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, that's crazy. That's you know, but you know, all of these is the impact, these is the things, you know, that have happened to us, you know, since we've been over here in the world of North America. You know what I'm saying? And these are the things that you know, we gotta separate, at least in our minds, see, because we gotta survive here.
right.
And there's so much things that we picked up for survival here that's not really us. You understand what I'm saying? It's not really us. So you know, that is why we have to identify some of these things. You know what I'm saying? And you're right about that. I haven't heard that particular thing, but you're right. It should be a couple trillion off the top just for that crack shit. So.
10%.
We'll take a couple billion. We'll settle with you for a couple barrels. But crack, you got to put the T in front of this.
The way y'all need that sound, we need a couple of good.
Listen, we ain't even scratched it.
Like they admitted it.
That's all I always say. I'm not a father. I will never truly.
Like that's crazy. Like they just said, okay, yeah, we get y'all crack. Now what? You going there?
Oh, crack was like the creme de la creme, like they don't get no work.
Like you said, they keep on giving. Like they still eating off of crack today.
Yeah.
There's niggas that's still in prison right now off of crack. Making license plates.
Crack. The only thing that can compete with crack is original sin. The original sin. Say that's the flyest shit. You can't come up with nothing better than that, son.
Oh shit.
That's probably the only thing, because you know, original sin got me fucked up. Around the world.
Like you said, like crack ain't just take out the crackhead, they took out everybody involved with them.
Yeah. And you want me to tell you another thing? Another is my opinion about crack too. Why crack had a bigger impact than dope is that, see, the dope came to like young people. You know what I'm saying? Got addicted to it. The older people, like once you go back to the generations that was born in like the 20s and shit like that, and the sticks in South Carolina, they don't want no drugs. You know what I'm saying? Their drug was alcohol. You know what I'm saying? You know, so it's kind of people, you know, that drug revolution.
Like heroin was like a city drug.
Right. It's a city drug, and there's young kids that's out in the street that can get addicted to it. You know what I'm saying?
And that's another thing. It's like
what I've seen though is that for dope, right?
Heroin is like a lot of heroin addicts like 12, 13 years old.
Right. Yeah, they was kids.
My pop was shooting dope like
right.
Like,
but see, this is the thing though. See, your grandparents is still there stabilizing the family. The pillars is stable. You see what I mean? But by the time crack comes along, it's that same generation that the younger people now, but now they parents. And so now the pillars of the family is on the drugs. So the shit just fell right apart more easier Then when the kids see when the kids is on drugs, yeah, you gonna cause a problem, but the rent is still gonna be paid. It's still gonna be dinner. But when the parents is on drugs, the lights is gonna be off. You know what I'm saying?
I just got the math on that.
So that that's another because that's a well-known thing. You know what I'm saying? Just the difference between dope and crack. You know what I'm saying, on the community. You know what I'm saying? It's the damage that it did to, individuals, to families, to communities, etc. You know what I'm saying? After dope, the good old days that I'm talking about still was around. You know what I'm saying? But after crack, you can't, you couldn't look at people the same.
And crack really fucked up like cities, whole countries.
Shit sound like really.
I mean, it was.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
It sounded like.
It was because like you guys like you said, like you've seen like even people in the neighborhood, like I know you knew coming up, it was always a karate nigga in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What's the karate nigga was smoking crack?
You know what I'm saying?
I ain't
Now
gonna
he look
goofy with the karate shit.
and that was one of the funniest. That's what I'm saying. Listen, they couldn't have planned that, son. You couldn't plan that, son. But listen.
He was out here teaching cats moves.
Listen.
Now he busting moves. Now he doing karate moves.
And falling over the car like shit. Falling all over the car like shit. Yeah, you're right. It was certain characters in every neighborhood, and that was a character, Or look, what about that one dude, right? That was mad diesel and browning and shit, right? And you know this nigga was smoking, so he said something and shit. You like, yo, this nigga got a brand and shit. Like, what's up?
That mean the nigga like he go to jail, he get skinny, go to jail, come back home, diesel, taking everybody back till he start getting high.
Yeah, it was certain characters in every neighborhood. But we had a good, we had some good stuff in the beginning there.
Peace to the gods.
Yeah, that's another science right there Shaquille brings up too, that we didn't mention that too. I think that's something that as a community, right, we still haven't gotten over our addiction to crack women. See, the dealers was addicted to that money and that lifestyle too.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Where, listen, they would take risks too. People would risk their life. Now you said that's when you addicted. Yeah. When you fuck shit up for this shit. You know what I'm saying? This is too dealers. You got 3 cases. You got 3 cases and 5 different crews out here trying to kill you, and you cannot stay off that block.
Look, I remember I knew I had it bad like one night. If I couldn't go to work, I didn't want to get up and go outside or nothing.
But see,
I don't want to do that. I can't make no work.
The style that people have right now, the way people dress and the frequency that they get haircuts and all that is a drug dealer's lifestyle from the 80s. That's why a lot of motherfuckers is broke now, because you really, the sneakers that you went, that's how the drug dealers used to dress.
That's up.
You know what I'm saying? But through rap music, you know what I'm saying, once the rappers at that time in the 80s was nothing to the drug dealers. They wasn't getting that, like, rap was something that you did because you liked. If you wanted to get money, you sold drugs. You understand what I'm saying? The rappers used to imitate them. And so that's how that style got into the mainstream and everybody got it. But that's another impact that crack is still having right now. Where you see the different, how people is, tremendously into fashion. Before that, the common thing was, listen, your shit just gotta be clean. Like, as long as your clothes is clean and shit, you look neat and shit.
Like, track dealers was wearing, the first niggas wearing sneakers.
Yeah, that's the second generation. Yeah. The 70s they ain't wear sneakers.
They wear slacks.
Unless they was playing basketball, You didn't see no hustlers on the street with
No,
no
they wearing shoes.
suited and booty.
Yeah, tell them.
Yeah.
Had 80 dudes. They wearing hats.
And all that jewelry, they might have one little locket with their daughter on it, little finger chain or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a little diamond on the ring, something like that. Yeah. But all this truck jewelry bulging up here on your face and shit. Nah, they wasn't doing that. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing that's happening. You know what I'm saying? To where you know, I think the way kind of original people don't value money. You know what I'm saying? You know, part of the reason why that you know, yeah, you're not valuing it when you get it that fast like that. You understand what I'm saying? If you're a kid and you really, you know, you don't understand long-term goals and plans, economics and all that. You understand what I mean? You know, but you know, once you take that source away and you still have people trying to imitate that, you understand what I mean? Then you see why there's these figures about how much money we spend on Jordans and how much money we spend on that, and how much things is not accomplished. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, even you know, having 1,000 TVs in your house and all that shit is new. You understand what I'm saying? You know, going out to eat. You know, a lot of that shit is new. You know what I'm saying? In the black community. You know what I'm saying? And I do think that's something. You know, one characteristic, right, of rich people is that they make a lot of money. An equally strong characteristic of rich people, cheap as fuck.
Yeah, not spending money.
You understand what I'm saying?
Like they tell you that the best way to save money is not spending.
So see, right now, listen, you can go up on Lenox Avenue and Hunts Train Fish Street. You know cats to be over there on Lenox Avenue, Hunts Train Fish Street?
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if you talk to enough of them, you find a motherfucker that was sitting on rims, had truck jewelry, you know what I'm saying, crib in Jersey. You understand what I mean? But he didn't save no money. You see what I'm saying? So even though, yeah, he might have seen a couple $1 million, right? See, another thing with money is about timing. See what I'm saying? If you got the rent money after the court says to go, you understand what I'm saying? See, money's about timing. You having that money to invest it at the right time. You see what I'm saying? Just like the timing of the housing stuff with the red line. You understand what I'm saying? Because of the timing that the Caucasian people was able to get those houses, right? The kids was able to capitalize on it when certain other opportunities opened up. They had that wealth already in the family. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas now, you behind the timing. You see what I'm saying? You behind the timing because this opportunity already passed. So yeah, now you got the house, but it's a different atmosphere that we in there. You know what I'm saying? In terms of, you know, how long is it going to take for your $500,000 house, right, to quadruple in value? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, like, you know, in Long Island, in suburbs, you know, you got people went out there and bought a house, you know, $30,000, $40,000. You know what I'm saying? But by the time they kids got a certain age, the shit is 150,000 or whatever. Shit, you know what I mean? And then they sell it and use that wealth. That's about the timing. You understand what I mean? Okay, you have that money when it's time for your kids to go to college. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, our timing in everything that we deal with different things, because, you know, we don't have all this money. People like, yo, we got all this money. All we got to do is spend it back. Yeah, right. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't talking about that, but I'm saying what it is that we do have. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we look at different populations of people and see what they got right now. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what they always had. And I'm not saying that they didn't have other advantages, right? But just because they have other advantages, that don't mean that you can just ignore the fact that, listen, Asian people don't be spending a lot of money. Like if you go in Chinatown, nobody has Jordans. Everybody down there is rocking Skips. You see what I'm saying? And then we wonder why they have all these businesses, why they have political clout. You see what I mean? You know, the Jewish people, you know, you're not going to go in Borough Park and see a whole bunch of Jordans. I'm not saying there's no younger generation that rocks it, but it's not yet. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, that's another factor. That is something. That's a strong point right there, Shaquille. That I didn't. You know, I always think about it. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't think about it in the context of this conversation. You know what I'm saying? But we've came a long way. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that made it this far, do the each one teach one, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. You know, other than that, hit the notification button so you can know when we come on. We should be on tomorrow. We'll see if we make it happen. We went a little bit longer today, but you know how you people do. In the meantime, remember, peace to our brother Gamal. You know what I'm saying? We got to continue to build on. And let's not forget to spread the word that the rally on September 26th is in the yard at the law school in Mecca. And for the record, just so y'all know, right? Because, you know, I know that there's some crazy talk that circulates sometimes, right? The reason it's not in Harriet Tubman is because of the pandemic protocols in the Board of Education in New York City. You understand? The Harriet Tubman is that was not an exclusive situation, meaning that on the other weekends in the month, right, other organizations also rent Harriet Tubman for their events. None of us are able to access the school at this time, right? Because, you know, first of all, they just passed a mandate where everybody has to have, you know, vaccine cards, et cetera, all of these things. The school, Harriet Tubman, is not going to want to have security there. You know, this is all stuff that they got to pay, you know, and on top of that, just to take the risk, right? That if even one child gets sick in there, right? And that's the case, that's what the principal has to think about. So this is the only reason that we're not in Harriet Tubman. There's no situation where anybody has been negligent or just hasn't taken care of the business or done something wrong where we got kicked out of Harriet Tubman, right? Just for the record, just in case if you run into any people with these bad narratives, exactly. You know what I'm saying? But in the meantime, in between time, I'm gonna sign off. From the G building. Salute.